All right. It is Monday, September the 7th. Making sure my microphone is on. Making sure my microphone is on. Yes. It is Monday, Labor Day, September 7th, 2020 at 12 noon. And I've got my virtual suitcases virtually packed. And I am ready to head to the virtual Marta station. And from there, roughly 30-minute ride south on the Marta. It's Smarta. And from there, or somebody will carry me, but I think I'll take the virtual Marta today. Over the years, I've had different ways of leaving DragonCon: in a car, being driven by people, being driven by DragonCon, taking the train, having friends carry me. There's a lot of different ways to come, a lot of different ways to leave. But in any case, today's the day we leave. Today is the day that normally I would pack everything up, maybe hit that one or two panels I'm scheduled for. And then at some point, I would venture over to see a little bit of robot battles. I usually like to go over and watch a few minutes of that, depending on what's going on. And that pretty much is the signal in my head that when robot battles is on, I can watch a little bit of it, see some friends there. And then one year it was Timothy Zahn and I were standing there watching it together and chatting, which was pretty cool. And then finally head on out with my rolly suitcase, my backpack, and head on down to the airport to fly home. And usually get home about supper time. So I stopped at the virtual Dairy Queen Orange Julius to get me a virtual smoothie, which I will be enjoying during our virtual hangout. Very good. The virtual Dairy Queen people make good virtual actual smoothie. So I'm anticipating we'll have a few guests here coming along. I think other people will be stopping at the food court here. But in the meantime, let me see if I can find you a quick look at what I would normally be watching at this time. I should have thought of this beforehand, but let's see if we can find, I want to find a picture. There's lots of pictures of the winners and stuff, but there's always this huge crowd. And I don't see any. Dang. Here it is. Yeah, there's a pretty good. Oh, that's my picture. Okay, so let's see if I can share the screen here for just a second. Bear with me. We'll have visitors coming along in just a moment, but I want to see if I can do this. I'm doing all this stuff behind the scenes. All right, I'm going to just put it over here on the other monitor, and I'm going to share the screen. So all I have to do is come back to you. There you are. Hey, guys. And I'll get to everybody else in just a moment, but let me share my screen so you guys can see. There we go. There's where we would normally be at this time of day. Hey, I see... is that Bobby I see waiting for the Marta as well? Hey, Bobby.
Hey, good morning or good afternoon.
Yeah, just watching robot battles. Oh, look, it's Mike. Hold on. He might want to watch some robot Mike, how's it going?
Howdy.
Hey. We got robot battles going on. You can't really see the robots, though, huh? That's the view I usually get. I come in late, and I get, like, standing room only in the back.
I do miss that kind of crowd. Like any other time of the year, I would hate to be in a room that crowded. At DragonCon, I miss that crowd.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the actual robot. I realize this is only that's the actual TV show type thing, but Robot Wars. Yeah, there's there they are going at it. Let's see if that's, I hope it's not. Oh, there we go. I can actually show this. Here come the robots. This is cool. This is like we're actually at DragonCon on Monday watching the robots fight. Let's see if I can get them up here and get them to fight. Hold on.
It's not something I've ever seen at DragonCon before.
There go the robots, yeah! Yes, yes, robot. Evil,
That's pretty
evil.
cool.
Oh Lord, they're going at it, man. This is the law of the jungle in the electronic world. Bite or be bitten.
This is cool. I've never seen the robot battles before.
Nor have I.
I love it, man.
Yeah, usually at this point of the convention, I'm sitting there going, "Hey, you want to buy some of this stuff so I don't have to take it home?"
You see the referee robot with the camera on him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they do this for a while. It's like two waffle flippers fighting.
Mm-hmm. So these robots are built by DragonCon attendees. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
They spend most of the weekend, I think, building their robots and getting them ready and everything and having preliminaries. And then on Monday they have the big finals, and then they have like a battle royale. Uh-oh. That looked like the orange one. Whoa, Lord. There you go. All right. That was very exciting.
That's even more impressive since I now know that they built them at the con. That's impressive even if they built it and brought them to the con. The fact that they built them over the weekend, that's amazing.
Some of them are kids, some of them are adults. There's I teach I got a question or two here. I teach religion, and one of the religions is the Church of the Subgenius. Praise Bob, praise Bob. And the first time I ever heard of that religion is that Evil Robots Incorporated, one of the teams, they come out and they're like, praise Bob, and everybody goes, evil, evil. It's quite the show.
The first time I heard about that was at DragonCon. I used to see people with like Bob's head on a stick, and they would march to the convention, bouncing the sign up in the air.
Paulo says, is the referee bot also part of the fight like WWE rep? I think they try to be fair. He's not normally part of the maybe it's a she, man. Is not normally part of the fight, but there was one year that a little tiny kid had a wind up thing out there, and I can't think of his name. The host, he's so good. I'll think of it in a minute. But he said, "Is this? You don't have a remote control?" And the kid's like, "No, you just turn it on." Little tiny kid, and he goes, "You mean it's autonomous?" And the kid goes, "Yeah, it's autonomous." Had a robot out there just going around in circles. No controls, just going around. I think it ended up, everybody was cheering for it, of course, by the end. So it's pretty cool. I always enjoy that. There's John. Hey, John, what's up? Good to see you popping in. So, guys, what did you think about this DragonCon?
It was different. It was still good. I love the fact that so many people were still so excited about it. And I mean, people were, my social media feeds were filled with people doing things at home, doing various things to kind of keep the feel of the con alive. I had several friends that were doing things just to kind of keep in that DragonCon state of mind. Yeah,
Mike, what did you make of this now that it's winding down?
I think it's really the best they could do under the circumstances. Yeah. I appreciate all the content that was offered. I appreciate the opportunity to have a table and sell stuff for me. I appreciate all the panels reaching out. I mean, I got to do some panels for the first time, some tracks for the first time. And, I know that there was a pretty strong fan presence over social media, social getting together, especially over Discord, which I still can't understand. A lot of it is missing, and it hurts my heart. But under the circumstances, I think they did a tremendous job.
I do too. James, what did you think about it?
I feel a lot better about it now than I did going in. I was, they can't recreate everything. But I think they really tried to recreate as much of the con feel and experience as they could. I thought the panels were a lot of fun. Joe and Gary had a full weekend's worth of stuff, just like they do at Physical Dragon Con. They worked their butts off this weekend.
Felt like they upped it.
And they've been doing quarantine panels, every week since the pandemic started. So I feel pretty good about it. It wasn't what any of us wanted or would have preferred, of course, but I think it went off as well as it could. How did you guys do with your virtual vendor tables?
Mike, you did pretty good, didn't you? You said you did?
I did okay. To be honest with you, last year I did not. It was not one of my best years selling wise. So I haven't done the final tally yet, but I'd say I almost came out ahead of what I did last year. I mean, the bonus is that people don't have to wait 5 hours to get to my artist deli table, and it's open to people. I know that there were some people who never go to DragonCon yet took advantage of the sales. So and so because I have to mail out to all sorts of places this week, and like I said, I appreciate the opportunity. I mean, talk about something they didn't have to do.
Hey,
hello.
That's Kelly.
I think I sold about one of everything. I didn't sell two of anything. I sold like one of everything.
I know, right?
That sounded good. That's a Mountain Dew commercial.
Sorry, that was my drink. Yeah, sorry. I thought it would be quiet. This is a food court, though, right?
Well,
exactly.
No, we're in the Marta station today, so it's even louder. That's okay. That fits in, man.
Yeah, we should be shouting.
There's a homeless guy right over here in my basement.
Yes, but see, the difference is there you've got him chained to the wall.
That might be an oath violation or something. We don't want to spread that around.
Research for your next novel. I got it.
Yeah, there we go. But it really was cool that they set that thing up where it's interesting too. It's like the same website where they had a lot of the videos. They also had the I was like, oh, no kidding. They also had the it's Monday of DragonCon, so so they also had the what is it called, Eventini. The videos also had our stores there. There was just a whole lot of competition, of course. That's what we get every year. So
absolutely,
and like go ahead.
I was going to say, I love the fact that they I mean, like you guys said, they put a lot of effort into doing stuff that, where a lot of conventions this year just said, we're done. See you next year. The fact that they went to DragonCon put a lot of effort in that they're not getting any, it's not like there's money out of it for them,
Right.
Because, but doing it to keep the fans, entertained and involved. I really love the fact that they did a lot of stuff, for the fans, and that's great.
Yeah, I think it's a true testament to the fact that it is a fan-run convention. I mean, if it's a corporate-run convention, they just say bye, see you next year. Since it's fan-run, the fans were not going to be content to just let it go.
Right. No. And not only just with the official DragonCon stuff that's happening virtually, a lot of people that aren't part of that are doing things digital, online, DragonCon like, but even though they're not part of the official lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're on one, right?
Yeah, we're saying.
Yeah, we're doing it right now.
This is not part of the. I don't. Contrary to what some perhaps might think, this is not actually. It's not like Jamie and Rachel sat me down and said, "Van, we want you to compete with our actual programming by doing another feed totally on your own, and have people on there." No, but I got the blessing from them. It's cool. It's a cool idea, but I just thought.
Thank you for putting this up, because I've enjoyed having lunch with you. Like you said the other day, I think we've got a chance to hang out this year. Ironically enough, more than more than all the others combined.
Man, where did that point now, Mike? Where did that point? It's true.
And I kept missing you, which is just like actual con. So I have a panel for Joe and Gary, just like at DragonCon. So I can't do anything.
That's it.
Yeah.
No, I just felt like one of the major parts of DragonCon for me is seeing everybody and just sitting around chatting, and having to go 2 whole years. Just, it's before we got to do that again. It just was not something I was prepared to do. So if I could find a way for us to all, get together, different folks and everything, that was great. So
yeah. Well, hopefully everything gets their act together so we can have it next year. I mean, not to be the dark cloud, but man, I mean, I'm scared about all that. Still.
Yeah. I said yesterday, it's not like the virus looks at the calendar, it's not going to go. The virus isn't going to go, it's January 1st. We just have to hope that we're better prepared, I guess, and kind of in remission, or whatever, and things are better by then. Surely.
I'm curious to see if the numbers spike again after this holiday weekend. Yeah. I hope they don't, but I fear.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, there's a lot of people that don't take precautions, and so
Well, even though DragonCon wasn't happening, I believe there were 2 other Southeast conventions that it did happen, smaller ones that happened over the weekend. So they tried to take advantage of it.
Yeah, the Augusta Comic Fest and Joe Fest was in Augusta this weekend.
I'm pretty sure I know what Derek means here.
Because you're eating.
Because I'm eating. But again, that's the shtick, right? It's just like when John Ringer and I do our barbecue, our Auburn, our SEC football barbecue preview. We eat the barbecue, and it tells us what the predictions are going to be. And so people say, "Hey, man, you were eating on the show." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point. It's the barbecue show. Tune in to hear us eat." So,
yes, this is the virtual food court,
Exactly.
Marta station, but yes, that's true. There's Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Howdy, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
One day we're going to get him over here.
Yes. Him and Helen would love DragonCon. I'd love to see them again. They're good people.
Absolutely.
I had a blast with them at Timegate.
Yes.
Time. That was a lifetime ago.
I never got to go to that. And it's funny. I would say that my Stargate overall fandom started just when they quit having Stargate at that convention. So I contacted them and said, "You still do Stargate?" And they're like, "No, we just do Doctor Who." I'm like, "Oh well." Not interested.
Yeah.
I like Doctor Who. Okay,
yeah. That was a fun show. I missed that show. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little bit north, which was good, and a lot of smaller shows in that hotel. So if you do all those too, you get really used to that hotel, just like at DragonCon. You learn your way around, and it's not as big. There's no, you can get to a panel in 2 minutes if you need to.
Novel concept.
Yeah, wow. I'm like, if there was a panel going on in the room next door to the panel you're in, you can get there in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this, guys. So with doing the virtual stuff, were there any things you got to participate in this year that you might normally not get to because of your normal schedule? Like for me, I did I was part of the writers mentoring sessions yesterday, which I had never done. I know they do it live at the con in a room. You get 15 minutes with various writers and editors.
Yeah.
And I had never done it. I had never done it at the con, but I was a part of it yesterday, and it was quite a lot of fun. And so I was just curious if there was anything you guys got to do for the first time con-wise.
I got to be in 2 places at once because I was on a pre-recorded panel. And then I was like, well, I can go do something else now. I'm not actually there. So that was a novel. I mean, I've wished for that at DragonCon. Oh, to be in 12 places at once and do all these panels I want to do that are exactly at the same time.
Being able
James
to fly
sent
over
the
the
James-
panels would be nice too.
He sent the LMD. He sent the James Palmer LMD to do one of them.
Yeah, I need a launch model decoy for real.
Yeah, I came close to that. I had a panel that was yesterday at 4, and then one at 5:30, and there was no way at actual DragonCon that I would have made that possible, because they were in, like, one was in the Apparel Mart and the other was all the way at the Hilton. So there's no way I would have made that in half an hour.
Lord.
To get there.
I watched a few of the just bits and pieces of some of the celebrity panels on the main channel.
Yeah, I did too.
I don't like going to those because you wait in line for an hour. It doesn't matter when I get in line. They put me in the back.
Like 8
I'm
hours
watching it on a jumbotron. Yeah, and I don't enjoy those. But there's a camera and it gets up close and you can. So I caught a little bit of the Stan Lee one from whenever that was. That was kind of cool.
The thing I got to do this year that I never really had done before was I really got to be a volunteer this year, and I was very happy to get to do it because I wanted to help do anything I could.
Mm-hmm.
But the comics track just needed help, technical logistic help, and so for the last month, almost every day, I've been recording stuff. Some of the stuff I was on, some of the stuff I was just the engineer down invisible in the corner, but just recording. And so I got to do the interview with JR Jr., which was awesome. But I also got to be involved in the panels with Paul Levitz and I was on the one with Peter David and Paul Jenkins too, but there were a whole bunch of others with big time people. I usually don't end up doing many panels in the comics track. I do the trivia there, but they usually have other people that do the panels, and I just end up kind of getting left out of that. But I ended up doing quite a few of them this year, and it was awesome. So I was glad to get to do more of the comics track for once. So, what would you hope might change about DragonCon next year, having gone through this, other than it meets, other than we actually get to have? What can we take from this experience and carry over? If anything, maybe we're just wanting to go back like it and forget this ever happened. I don't know.
I kind of like some of the virtual things that happened.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool if we could find a way to have take some of the panels that happen in person virtual, so that these people who discovered DragonCon this year who can't get here for the con can still enjoy the con this way. I'd like to think that we could continue to find a way to make that happen. I think that would be good.
Yeah, I know that they did a lot of stuff out of necessity this year, but if they could carry that over and, next year, if it physically happens and a lot of people still don't feel comfortable coming or for whatever reason want to take part, if you offer that DCTV membership to them, they can still access panels. We can still sell our stuff through that, that kind of thing. I think, and they could still participate. Again, it's not going to be like the real thing, but it's still, I think it's still worth something. I would pay for that. I mean, not regular membership prices, but
Yeah. Well, and I think now that they've got the Roku app, which I love that. And I heard one of the Tech Ops guys talking about that on one of the podcasts. He said he loves that they have that now, because when they feed that stuff out to the hotel room, they've literally got like a VCR plugged into it. And now Roku handles all that for them. I mean, they could push stuff to that. If we go and you're not in a host hotel, bring your Roku stick with you, and you can still watch DCTV in whatever hotel room you're in. So I think they've built in some functionality now that they'll want to keep and exploit for the future. Definitely.
Yeah, I suggested a while back when we were doing this that maybe some way to video or film or whatever panels, but I was quickly reminded by folks that it gets into union issues. You have like the lighting, the electronics people, the camera people, and all that, and it gets quite expensive. So, because you have to, it's not just like if we went, it's not like what we're doing right now. You'd have to actually pay people or whatever to do it all. And I'm like, man, that kind of messes it up because they're not going to want to do that. But I mean, if you could, honestly, I thought that they could have gone, and I know this probably would have never worked, but it would have been neat if they could have gone to like Sci-Fi Channel and said, hey, would you like 3 hours of programming a day? Stick it on the middle of the day, right? I mean, instead of 3 hours of reruns of old sci-fi shows or whatever, they could show.
They don't show sci-fi anymore over there, man. They show.
I know it. That's the problem. Is that what's on MTV now? Since videos aren't on MTV, maybe they show sci-fi on MTV.
Well, and they'd have to give it to them because Sci-Fi doesn't like to pay for anything.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
But with all of these classic TV channels that we have now, considering how DragonCon really does look back, at classic, TV and classic science fiction as well as the new stuff. Sure, yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if like you go to Heroes and Icons or MeTV and Sci-Fi Saturday is just live from DragonCon?
Oh man,
that'd be cool.
I'm surprised San Diego hadn't done it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then like you said, you get into the not just the union issues, but you get into like the legal stuff. Everybody has to sign a waiver, and then the panels aren't as fun because they're being recorded, and licensing. I know that this year DragonCon
like that.
I know that DragonCon wanted this year to sort of have a tighter rein on their content so that they can't be distributed freely. Mm-hmm. So you'd have to have permission, like if you're on a panel or the tracks, like if you want to use that, like if you want to record that panel for a podcast, say, you have to go through some extra hoops this year, or you would have had to because of the licensing thing, because everything that's recorded at DragonCon will be owned by DragonCon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know there was also some like some of the panels I was on was like, due to like stuff that gets put to YouTube, like you can't have any children show up in the video, or because you have to differently. So, or watch your language, or if you're going to talk about the current situation, you got to use the word pandemic. Not the actual name of it, because that'll get flagged. And so
we were told too we couldn't have anything behind us that's trademarked or copyrighted, like a movie poster or something.
Hi.
Hey, Gracie.
It's Gracie.
Hey.
Yeah.
Easy. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to cover up all my copyrighted stuff, including
exactly. Well, it's copyrighted by you.
Here.
Your books.
Yeah.
And Bobby's okay.
Yeah, those are mine.
By you too. And it's copyrighted if it's by you. Love you.
Yeah.
Van told us before we recorded that nobody could drink on our panel.
I heard that too. Alcohol. You can't.
Well, it didn't matter. Like, as I guess they could. I thought it was just because they had that deal with the mead company. So that they,
it could have been
the official drink. So unless you're drinking, Dragon's Nectar, you can't drink anything.
So instead of this, I should have just done it this way.
There you go.
Well, I guess that's subconsciously why I've been eating and drinking on all the episodes of this, but because we're a guerrilla outfit, man. We're underground. We're broadcasting from the back of a van on 3rd Street, but
you're literally underground.
I am. Yeah, I got the reason I have such good lighting in here is because not only I got a nice light here, but I've got my 2 basement windows where the sun goes right over there, and so I get all this light coming in here. It's not bad to be down in the ground where I am. It's not too bad. But no, they were saying you weren't supposed to drink because they just didn't want you to, because they said it was distracting.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying that they were trying to watch
at Bobby right now.
Yeah. Wait, yeah. What we're talking about, I forgot.
Yeah. And then in relation to the cursing, I thought it was hilarious. I actually watched the Denny O'Neil panel, and how they bleeped Howard like 25 times.
All right, I can speak to that. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell tales out of school, So I will,
Did you let them
I
know?
will-
Did you say like, hey, you might want to like take a look at this footage?
No.
The only thing I ever heard about Denny O'Neil at DragonCon was he was in the the comics alley, whatever, the whole time, like just griping about everybody, like other people he'd worked with in the industry and stuff.
The man's dead, so we can we can. No, but what happened? What happened was, yeah, we recorded the Denny O'Neil tribute in multiple sections, and the one that who was it, Mike? You just said, and I'm blanking out again.
Howard Chaykin was in the first segment, and
Chaykin,
he cursed up a storm.
That was it, right? And I was, for some reason, I was either thinking that was before the part we were actually going to use, that it was going to get edited out, or that somebody else that was there with me was going to notify DragonCon, you might want to look at this or listen to this. Somehow it all fell through the cracks. And so the last person on the chain of custody was about to upload it to DragonCon TV and went, oh my God, and pulled it back down and bleeped it. And he said, put it back in just as it was time to go on. It was like it was still the film was, yeah. So yeah, that was a close call. That's so funny.
They're gonna start doing stuff with a delay.
They spent a lot of time on Howard, but I noticed that Paul let a couple slip at the end when they did the Paul Levitz part of it. So
yeah, I'm not surprised
because I don't. It's weird because when I was conducting it, and actually when I talk to people, I hardly even hear curses anymore because I just I'm so used to it.
Sure.
So I didn't even think anything of it, but they bleeped the heck out of him. Because
when you're in the room, nobody's bleeping anything. So I'm accustomed to hearing what you hear at DragonCon.
Yeah.
And it never really occurred to me that we were actually going to edit, and censor like that. That's their business. They have the right to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
It just didn't really occur to me. And so, I was kind of taken by surprise that it was, I guess it makes sense if it's going out on like the main programming or whatever, but it just kind of caught me by surprise that it was so problematic, that we can't do that. So,
because live when we're at the con, especially the later it gets into the evening, some of those 10 p.m. panels can get pretty,
and the stuff that's at 10 p.m. is put there on purpose because
exactly, yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, I got to duck out, guys. It was great seeing y'all.
Yeah, great to see you too, James. Appreciate it.
Let's figure out a way to do this throughout the year, and
absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll do my virtual go into the mall and see you guys.
There you go.
This will become so popular. Yeah, that's Van's new podcast.
Bobby, what are you doing at Gateway Mall in St. Louis? That's amazing. It's amazing. You drove all the way up here to buy a battery. It's cool.
Yeah, really. Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and go, okay, I'm gonna have lunch with Van. Oh wait, I'm not.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh no, I'm bummed. All right, well, take it easy, guys.
Take it easy, James.
Yeah.
He's ejected. Okay. Oh man, yeah. I guess we'll hang around a few more minutes.
But this is fun, Joe. I love this too because this is the informalness of this. Just just us hanging out. Yeah.
This is not a panel. This is us talking in the hall or in the food court or the Marta station on the way home. That was the whole idea. We're just, because that's what we usually do. We don't just go panel, go to sleep. We hang out. We talk. We're like, hey, how are things going at your table? How are things going at your table? How is that panel? Did you see so-and-so? Oh, that's what we do.
Yeah, there is some the camaraderie of the, especially when you see, because we've all been doing this con and other cons so long, there becomes a little camaraderie. There's people you only see at DragonCon or you only see at certain cons. So
no doubt
you have to do it quick. You have to do the reunions quick because we're all moving and passing and. You do conversations in snippets because you pass each other and you say a couple things and you pass each other again 3 hours later and you say a little more.
It's true.
By the end of the weekend, you've got a conversation in.
Piece it together, yeah. Yeah, well, with Mike and me in the past, there have been years where we like get our conversation in a year at a time. Like, hey, Mike, it's been a year since I saw you. Where did we leave off?
And by that time, we're already in a different room.
Hey, Karen.
Mhm.
Hey, Karen. How are you?
Howdy.
One of the many fantastic track directors at DragonCon. Karen is the head of military sci-fi media, which is a relatively young track, but it's one that I really love. It has some of my favorite things on it, and it has some of my favorite people running it and in charge of it and everything, and her husband in it. And I wanted to say there's two tracks that I've come to love. There's some that I've loved forever, like Sue Phillips's sci-fi lit or comics or whatever. But there's some that just in the last 2 or 3 years I've really gotten in close with and just come to appreciate the great people that are involved. And one is Karen with military sci-fi, and the other is Jennifer Lang with and Jimmy with high fantasy. Those are both such great tracks because such really cool people run them. I got nothing but good things to say about those. Let's see. He says, "Do okay, moving back to go live with a feedback panel. Why not? Yeah." Yes, we are. We are in the virtual Marta station, Karen. We are getting ready to get on the trains and go home. So
It's almost nap time.
Where you nap for 5 days.
Yeah. I was telling someone that yesterday. They were asking about Dragon. I said, yeah, it's like it used to be. We'd go home on Labor Day evening. I'd take Tuesday off work, and I was fine on Wednesday. As I get older, that taking Tuesday off has turned into I need Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, hell, let's just take the whole week.
What usually happens to me, Bobby, is that I don't plan to take Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday off, but then I get the con crud strikes by Wednesday. I take Thursday and Friday off. Yeah. Oh, hey, Wendell.
Oh, Wendell. Howdy. Wow. This is cool.
Mm-hmm. Wendell's the artist on your and my stuff, Mike, right?
Yes.
Yep.
We've
all worked with Wendell. Yeah. We love Wendell.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can, in fact, while you guys are talking, I'm going to see if I can find a demo of some of the amazing things that he has done.
Nice. Yeah. Yes, Wendell did an issue of the Domino Lady team-up book that I wrote with that Nancy Holder and I wrote. And Wendell penciled and inked the second issue of that, and he penciled a book that Mike and I co-wrote that's going to come out next year. We hope.
Yeah, it's been a long time putting that together. More or less still looking for the colorist on that, but and then, he also did work on Invisible Scarlet O'Neill for me, and so he does great work.
There's the penciled splash page of issue number 3.
Oh wow! Okay.
Nice.
Whoa, yeah.
How many issues is that going to be? Is that
3?
Just 3? Just 3? Okay. Yeah. So you're working on the last one now?
Yes. We have just a few pages left to pencil. Jared is frantically inking, and we will have it along. Oh, hopefully DragonCon next year.
Nice.
Be good to go. We've got issue number 2 is in the final stages.
Nice.
And that's sweet of Karen. Thanks. Well, it's mutual love. I tell you what, it's all great panels, great tracks. But yeah, we're doing final touches on issue 2. Issue 1 came out a couple of years ago. Issue 2 we're doing final touches on. Issue 3 is a little over probably halfway penciled and about a third inked. So we'll get those suckers done. Can't wait.
Well, if anybody is watching this and wondering, Tiki Zombie 4 is about halfway done. We've done some. Peter's almost done with the first story of it, and I wanted to have that ready for DragonCon as well, but things being what they are, everything was pushed back. So.
Yeah, this year it really didn't matter. It's funny. I spent the first couple of months of the pandemic. It dawned on me in March before all this hit. It suddenly dawned on me. I'm like, every year I roll out a couple of new things at my reading track panel, and I I'm like, it's March and I don't have anything new. I don't have anything that's come out since DragonCon last year because the last two things I had done were Vegas Heist and Caroline. They were already out. And so I'm like, I got to get something done by DragonCon to have something new, at least to read and to sell to the folks that come. So John Ringer and I started working on a new Auburn book, and we blew out 60% of it. We did about, the thing's going to end up being, this volume's going to end up being about 100,000 words. We did about 60,000 words of it during the first 2 months of the pandemic. And I wrote Miami Heist.
Yeah, you did.
So I had my I'm like, I'll have the Auburn book done by September. Well, I'll have 2 brand new books. And then as soon as I realized DragonCon wasn't going to happen, John and I went, Erk! I'm like, why are we killing ourselves when we're not even going to get to go there? You know, so that book is still sitting where we left it. And that's fine because, you know, we were trying to get it done. Now we'll have more time to put into it to kind of make it a little bit better and everything. I think it would have been fine, but I just was I was busting my butt to get it done. And now there's no deadline. So,
oh, well. That's how important DragonCon is to me, is that it's the only convention, really the only event that I can think of that I actually plan all of my work around. Like, I need to have something new for DragonCon. Other conventions, if I have it, it's fine. If I don't, it's fine.
Right.
But DragonCon, I just love the convention so much. I feel like I owe it to them to have something new to present to people at the show.
It's also the biggest place for me to show stuff because the way physical DragonCon works, there's so much to do that, like in a regular 3-day show, you see the same people come through each day.
Right.
At DragonCon, because of the size of the convention, there are people that come into the Comic Artist Alley on Monday that haven't been in that room all weekend. Yep. So it's almost like every day it's a new crowd. Absolutely. So it's a lot of people to show your work to. That in one 4 or 5 days, however long we're there, and I'm the same way. I always try to make sure I've got a few new things or even something special just for the con. You know,
So next year the pressure's on because we've got 2 years to have worked on stuff.
Oh, man, no excuse. It's not like we're doing a lot of other stuff, you know.
Well, let me just take a second here to say that if you want to read a really good heist book, Miami Heist is fantastic. I did read it and finished it. It's fantastic. I owe you a review, which I haven't done yet, but absolutely fantastic read. Both books, Vegas and Miami, were just both fantastic.
It's in my stack too. It's to read because I loved the first one so much.
Thank you. God, it's just one of those things where you didn't think you could do something, and then you actually tried, and you find out, it seems to be working. And so I'm looking forward to Alan Porter and I getting together and doing the third one next year, hopefully. So that'll be something else I might have for DragonCon next year, depending on how quickly. Yeah, I need his expertise for this one, and he suggested the idea, and it kind of all clicked together. So totally coincidentally, and not as a quid pro quo at all, I loved Snow. I read the first Snow novella book. I actually got it on Audible and listened to it over several days back in, I guess, July or so, and thought it was so awesome. And it was exactly what I expected to get from Bobby. I mean, this is what he does, and it just kicks butt. So.
And Stuart, the narrator, is fantastic too.
Oh, he's great. Yeah,
so good. Yeah,
great. So I really enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to digging into more, Bob. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I always enjoy your comics too, Mike. So
that's okay. Yes, I appreciate that.
We love each other's work so much.
We love each other. Well, it's nice that it's nice when you read a friend's work and it actually is really good, because it's so uncomfortable when it's not.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys are pros, and I'd like to think I can hold up my end of this little triangle here. So I mean, it helps.
It really does. It really does.
Talented people doing stuff.
You appreciate it for about 2 seconds, and then you hate that person because they're so damn talented.
Yes, we've actually had those conversations. Like, man, this is really good. Man, I hate that. Or Mike and I used to get together every week after we would watch Justified and get on the phone and go, this show is so good it makes me want to quit writing.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah, it was, and that's Well, see, I don't think I could do anything like that though. I had to retreat to the comfort of the 60s to be able to do crime. I either need spaceships and superheroes, which are like totally out of my head, or I need a nice, simple 1960s setting where there's nothing complicated. It's got to be one or the other. Today's world is just way too complicated for me.
Yeah, I heard from someone say that the biggest challenge for writing crime stuff now is cell phones.
Oh yeah. Lasers and alarms and the internet and just all the stuff you have to go work your way through. I just wanted to have locks. That's all I'm in a guy in a cop car cruising by. That's I mean, this is true, Bobby, that what you're looking for is building tension, and it doesn't matter what the specifics are as long as there's tension. And I can get just as much tension out of a cop cruising by in a prowl car in the 60s as I can an internet algorithm search or whatever, right? So why would I pick the one that's
Well, and a lot of stuff that we grew up watching all these heist movies or cop shows where the simple things was like, oh, there's a camera, reach up behind it and unplug it. Well,
there you go.
Or you're out of contact, and I always tell people, I said, here's a plot you can't do anymore. In the 70s, your detective could discover that there's going to be an assassination attempt on the other end of town, and your whole story is he's going to get from here to here. Now, problem solved.
Yeah, I love when they adapt into movies stories that were written before cell phones, because they always have to contrive why there's no signal.
Yeah, there's no signal. Either that or they have a guy in a van that's taking care of all the computer stuff.
There's always a guy in a van. Oh my goodness, that's right.
I remember this video that was put out that said, what if back when 24 was on, because 24 was always, he was on the earwig or the cell phone talking to Chloe back at the base. And it's like, what if 24 had happened in 1984? So like he would sneak into places and have to take the phone out of and put it in the cradle and wait for the dial-up tune.
Or even before that, he'd have to be putting lots of quarters in payphones and then smoking a cigarette. He'd totally be smoking a cigarette on the payphone. Absolutely. He'd be looking for quarters or dimes. Yeah.
There were always those scenes in those 70s cop shows or detective shows too, where someone would walk up to them at a place that like they're out looking for clues or talking to people, and someone has tracked them down, and it's like, you have a phone call. Because it's like, why don't you just call their cell? Oh, wait.
I see. That's the kind of stuff I just didn't even want to deal with, because it's just, if you don't have to, right? If you just make it a period piece, and it's like I say, I like to watch the Rockford Files now, and I watch it like it's a period piece. I'm like, oh, that's cool that they made this show set in the mid 70s. Oh, look, the cars all are so. Where'd they get these cars? These cars are awesome. I totally do that. Like, man, where did they find a houndstooth check brown sport coat for Jim? They must have searched all the old vintage clothing shops for that. That's awesome.
I love the fact that you never hear it, but the fact that they have to have a pocket full of change as often as they stop and use the payphones, but you never hear it when they're running.
Sound like Santa Claus coming. Santa Claus out here coming.
Trying to sneak up on people in your change. It's just jingling.
Not for these dang payphones. He wouldn't have heard me coming. Oh man, it's true.
Oh. Yeah, they also didn't wear seatbelts, and there were no airbags.
Yep.
I do see that a lot because I'm, when I watch older shows like that, it's like they hop in the car and go, and I'm like, no,
you're gonna die. They slam on the brakes and smack the steering wheel, or something, or go through the glass. It's true, yeah. So let's see. So I'll have hopefully have Monaco Heist out for DragonCon next year. I'm gonna ask you two guys. So hopefully Monaco Heist, which will be Harper and Salsa Book 3. I guess at that point I get to do another omnibus. I like doing omnibuses. I guess they call it Harper and Salsa The Crime Spree Part 1 or something. I don't know. And then we'll have the Auburn book out, which will be part 1 of We Believed, which will be about 100,000 words on the 1970s through, I think, 1998 Auburn football. The other thing I can write endlessly about besides sci-fi and pulp and crime. And maybe working on another thing or two. Bobby, what are you thinking you're going to have out come this time next year? You have any?
Yeah, well, there will be more snow, and there will be more of the Sheriff Myers stories. I'm doing a 4-book series for Fall Staff Books, which should be out by then.
Oh, cool.
I'm working on book 3 now, and that's more of a horror comedy thing. So those should be out. I'm also planning, because I'll have wrapped up Snow Series 1 by then, and we'll be on Series 2. I'm planning a box set for conventions where you can either get all the Snows in one big box set, or I'm also thinking of doing one with the snow, all the books that revolve around Summersville, which is the fictional town. So Evil Ways, Deadly Games, Evil Intent should be out, things like that. And so I'm still working on that, but I'm thinking about a nice box set for DragonCon would be cool.
That would be neat. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds cool. Mike, you got anything in the pipeline?
Yeah, next year is Tiki Zombie's 10th anniversary.
Wow.
So in addition to issue 4, we're going to do issue 5, which will be the last black and white issue. And then before we go to color, so there'll be a trade at the end of the year, collecting all 5 issues, and then we're gonna, move to color after that. And then I'm working on this year is the Invisible Scarlet O'Neil is 80th anniversary. She was in the newspapers. She made her debut 80 years ago. So I worked with the son of the original creator, and we're reprinting those strips. We're putting together a collection that's going to be through crowdfunding. We'll try to get that done this year so that we can present that in a nice hardcover collection, because the strips have never been collected, not in their original format. And she was in papers for about 15 years. So it'd be about a nice 3-volume set, I think, that we're looking at right now. As Bobby mentioned, Strong Will is production. All it needs to do is be colored and lettered. So I plan to have that as well. And I'm working on another ESO anthology. So
look at that. Okay, cool.
So I'd like to do one. I had the idea to do one called Tales of the State. It's called Dragon Tales, which would be people talking about DragonCon, and we would do it for a charity. So the fact that we haven't had a DragonCon this year makes me really want to see if I can get that collection together, and people will reminisce about like some of their why they like DragonCon so much. I think it would make a nice volume, and
that would be neat.
And to have that on the shelf or on my table next year would be pretty great too. So a lot of ambitious projects for them, but I think, if everything happens right, they'll come together, and I want to try to make as many of them come together as possible. So,
yeah, Mike has a great Scarlet O'Neil Instagram account that is reprinting some of the strips on Instagram. If you want to tell them what it's just Invisible Scarlet O'Neil on Instagram, and it's great. So if you're curious about Invisible Scarlet O'Neil, that's a great way to see because with Instagram, you can do one panel at a time, and so it's really interesting to read some of those older strips. So if you're interested in learning more about it, that's a great place to start.
Thank you. Yeah. We're try to put one strip out every week or so. So because we're just going through the collection and restoring them. So I just throw one out there every week.
And we're all we all have a story in that first Tales of the Station, the ESO Tales of the Station. And I get murdered like 3 times in that book. My friends.
And you wonder why you're not on the show anymore.
Oh my God, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, just a freaking bad.
3 times. I was like, it's so nice.
I'm pretty sure one of them was in mine. So
that one was yours, yes.
I'm pretty sure.
It was pretty cool though. The book was a lot of fun. It was also really great too, seeing the different, because all the people that were involved have a very, very different writing styles.
Mhm.
So it is definitely as diverse a storytelling type of book as you'll ever want to read.
Yeah.
I mean, and hell,
True.
any book that's got a Joe Crow story in it, you're going to laugh.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah.
So it's
He
good.
He did a chapter in one of the assembled books. I guess I don't remember, either assembled or assembled 2, about the Captain America TV show from the 70s or whenever, and about having his ears glued to the outside of his helmet and everything. And I mean, you go to Joe for that. That's Joe's wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
The one thing I forgot is hopefully we'll have the Pulsar comic book available next year too. And I've got the files somewhere, but I do have like the
Who's doing your art for that one?
Jennifer Stolzer, and I've got the let me bring up the cover roughs. Yeah, there's Pulsar.
Oh, very nice.
Very pretty.
Yeah, doesn't she look awesome? She makes a really good comic book character, like in art, because in the book covers, we usually show her looking more like, in the more serious, I guess, looking. I mean, Chris's covers, she's more comic booky, but I just love Jennifer has kind of an anime style, kind of a manga style. So there's Pulsar, and that's Black Dragon in disguise. And the Fly Boys are these 3 guys with flight suits that attack them on their blind dates. This is called Blind Date.
Okay.
Basically, they can't even go on the.
Yeah, I love her style though. It looks very nice.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
The whole thing has been done. Jared inked it. Jared Albrecht that inked it. Cole Lightning inked it, and we're just trying to get the coloring wrapped up. So hopefully it'll be done pretty soon, and we'll have it for sure at DragonCon. Yeah, it's a 22-page one-shot story where she and Black Dragon get set up before they ever met. This is kind of like a flashback to when she first met him, because they're kind of dating in the later books, but it's back to when they first went on their first blind date together. And she can't, because she doesn't have a secret identity like he does, so she can't really go anywhere without either her fan club showing up or super villain showing up, to come after her. And she's just like, come on, so I'm just trying to have a date here, So there's a fun little story, little throwaway story. But it looks gorgeous. Jennifer's art's fantastic. You may know her. I don't know if you're familiar with this, Mike, but Bobby might, because you're a Babylon 5 guy. I can't remember if you're a Babylon 5 guy, Mike. I can't remember.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay. On the Babylon 5 Facebook page, occasionally Jennifer does a running Babylon 5 comic strip.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I've seen that.
Post a panel there every now and then. Yeah. So, but she lives near here, and we got together at Archon a couple of years ago and decided to do this. So, yeah.
Very nice.
So,
I like that. That's very nice piece of art.
It is. Yeah.
So, So we will have a bunch of stuff, all of us.
Mm-hmm. And I'm waiting on the publisher, but there should be 3 new Domino Lady books out before DragonCon next year that I worked on.
Wow,
so
3.
Wow. Are those for Moon?
Yeah. The work's been done on 2 of them for a while, but I know the comic trade is going into like Diamond, the previews next month, I think. And I know the second anthology has been edited. So I'm just, it's got to go into the production queue, get printed and all that. And I'm currently writing something that'll happen somewhere. So sometimes you say, I need a story of this many words and I don't really know where it's going. I'm just like, okay.
Thanks to Van, all this preview information is being recorded and put out there. So we're beholden to it now.
Somebody next year is going to show up at our tables going, but you said you were going to.
I wrote it all down. Where is it? Oh, yeah. That would be nice. I like customers
that their cell phones with our video on.
No, I always appreciate that.
Yeah, we like the customers that show up and say, I want the next thing. I want more, man.
Yep.
I mean, I can't tell you, every convention I do, there's people that come to get the new Sentinels book, and I haven't had a new one in a couple of years now, but that's coming up too. That I didn't even think about that. Gosh, man. I started on number 10.
Oh, wow.
So So,
long
yeah,
running series, and
It
those
is
those aren't little books either. Those are
they're between 60 and 100. They really
Yeah.
vary. Yeah,
Yeah.
60 and 100. So
Yeah,
about
see,
500,000
I'm
words.
putting out 30,000 word snow books. Vans put Vans put out 100,000 word books. And,
He said, well, yeah.
yeah,
It varies. It varies.
He's had a head
Legion
start.
one.
yeah,
Well,
those were good too. I enjoyed the Legion books. Really, those were really good.
thank you. Yeah, those were. I was in a mindset for that in 2013, 2014. Cold Lightning is fun because it lets me revisit that universe, but in little bits rather than like another giant, saga. So, it's like, while the Legion books were about the generals and the big armies, the Cold Lightning lets me say, here's what the little special ops guys are doing running around, So it's just another way of doing it, and it's fun. So. Well, gentlemen, it's looking like it's top of the hour. The trains may be coming in. You guys have any last thoughts, words of wisdom? I mean, this is it. Unless we, like I say, unless we do some, and I guess we can do some occasional get-togethers for whatever reason. But as far as DragonCon is concerned, I'm about to get on my virtual plane and fly home. So, Mike, do you have any last words of wisdom for us for DragonCon 2020 online?
It's been great hanging out with you, Van, this week. Thanks for putting together these lunches. Like I said before, this DragonCon had to be what it is. And I think James put it well. It's like, this is much better. I mean, I was hopeful, but this weekend has been much better than I thought it was. It's obviously not the one we wanted. And my heart still, longs to see everybody in person again. But in the meantime, this is the next best thing, and I love it.
Yeah,
I still love it. I still love DragonCon.
Absolutely, always will. Bobby, last words of wisdom.
Yeah, I echo all that. I mean, I want to thank everybody that's put effort. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that you may never see on a screen that have put a lot of work into this virtual DragonCon, and just like when putting the regular con together, this is most people don't realize DragonCon is, I think, 99.9% volunteer based.
Yep. Yeah.
Everything that's done, all the tracks, all the panels, everything is run by people who are volunteering their time and effort, and they put a lot. And I know some of the trackers, they work on. It's not like they work on this stuff just around DragonCon. It's an all year long, planning and doing things and doing other events. Some of the tracks do events throughout the year. Do panels to get you just to keep that DragonCon feeling going all year. So there's a lot of people that volunteer. I don't know if the app is active this year.
I don't think it is.
No.
If it's not, like when you go to the physical DragonCon, the apps are important. Let them know what you're enjoying. I think
you can email DragonCon at dragoncon.org and tell them stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've seen stuff this year that you absolutely loved and would like to see more of, let DragonCon know. It is one of the cons that I know listens when you tell them stuff like that. I have seen it over the years. New tracks get formed because enough people said, we want this. So
Sure.
Yeah, let DragonCon know you appreciate the effort they went through for this. Let them know what you liked, what you'd like to see more of. They can't guarantee you you're gonna get it, but let them know, because I see them all the time asking, what guests would you like us to reach out to, or what panels do you want, stuff like that. Let them know and see what they can do. So big thanks to everybody behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, who spent time doing panels and everything. That's made not being there in person, a lot more bearable.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like I said, the one thing that's been really useful, I've done a lot of work this year, more than I normally do. Usually I get my ducks in a row, and then I get on the plane and I do all the hard labor once I get to Atlanta. But this year, other than coming up with trivia questions and stuff, and the hour I spend picking out my famous wardrobe I wear every year. But which Ready Player One shirt I'm going to wear today, But no, this year getting to actually see what the track heads have been doing for 2 months, what folks like Jamie Reeves have been doing for 2 months at least, is every day they're busting their butts every day so that this weekend would be good. And to think, I've seen how much work they had to make putting it on the computer good. So imagine how much they have to do to make having it in a bunch of buildings in downtown Atlanta is staggering to me. So I'm glad I don't normally have to do all that. We're lucky to get kind of the good end of the stick, but I sure am grateful for the folks that do all the stuff that make that fun. I think
I would also like to say too, there are people that are not, it's not official DragonCon stuff, but there are DragonCon other things that happen. Mike co-hosts a podcast called the DragonCon Report that runs throughout the year that not only talks about the con, interviews track directors and guests, lets you know what's coming. I'm sure you guys are going to do, I'm sure we'll do a follow-up to DragonCon episode, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, we'll have another one coming out in a few weeks.
So, and those you can find at the ESO Network's website, and those are quite a lot of fun to listen to.
Bobby is my official advocate.
Well, yes. Well, I know Mike forgets these things, so I have to remind him you host a podcast.
All right, gang. I guess we're gonna get on out of here. All I'll advocate is go to Plexico.net.
Do it. Go there.
And thank you, Van, for doing these. These were a lot of fun. It's been great being able to chat with you guys. And so
I had the technology at my disposal. I did my classes this way all the way since March and through the summer. So I thought, might as well go ahead and I was able to help out with Comics Track, and I was able to do this. So all righty, wrap things up, and I'll talk to you guys soon. But DragonCon has come to, at least as far as I'm concerned, DragonCon now has come to an end. So
that's the building.
Have a safe virtual journey.
Have a safe virtual flight.